think we're just going to roughly do 50-50 and take it pretty easily, so we'll see what happens. Well, best of luck. Thank you so much.
44, the car on the screen, is the car that Charlie will be taking over later from James Turner, the mover and shaker. In so many Porsche racing circles, fabulous race livery, I must say. It really takes it right back to the mid-60s in terms of fashion.
Yeah, easy to spot. There's a lot of great liveries out there. A little bit of acknowledgement from behind the wheel. And Turner continues on behind the safety car. Extended break that we hope is coming to a close. We have added 3 minutes to the time for the race. This has turned into a 48-minute race. You must use both drivers. We've got a few 901s in there, but the majority are 911s officially from the 1960s, 65, 64, 66 on my page.
Yes, the effective divide is the 3 901s in this race were built in 1964, and all the remainder, the other 27 cars, are all 911s from 1965 and 1966. Body shape completely door very soon after the Porsche 911, or 901 as we've been explaining, was introduced. But the drivers love racing them because they have a bit of a reputation. That short wheelbase was very, very twitchy, but if you got it right, the reward was fabulous. We've been talking today a lot about steering cars on the throttle, and the 911 was very much a car that required that treatment.
I was very encouraged to see the vehicles moving away from the tyre barrier where we had the accident that brought out this safety car. Driver's okay, which is the most important thing. Car's going to need some repairs, and it won't be able to take any further part in the weekend. And there is the Land Rover at the rear of the field, and there's the second one, and there's the Mini. So I think we're just a few moments away from getting the signal to go racing once again. And here is our race leader, Ollie Webb.
Ollie Webb, and you can see various points on the circuit where their face is full of sunshine. Not always a good thing when you're trying to pick out that point where you either brake, or the point where it's just past the point where you should have done the braking and you're arriving at Ford Water. But so many markers drivers try to find, but experience on this circuit, it's always great. But I always remember Jackie Stewart. We had that lovely tribute for his third World Championship earlier today, where on the Nürburgring Nordschleife, his senses were so heightened by the fear of competing there. He thought, I think there's been an incident, he smelt cut grass and someone had just spun over a brow. And that level of intellect and the reflexes and the reaction. So, not saying everyone has to be able to spell cut grass when it's been cut from 30 pace and you're doing 120 miles an hour, but it helps.
It really does. Also helps to have Sir Jackie Stewart's talent behind the wheel. That's fairly useful as well. Okay, the lights are off, I believe. Let's have another look. Yeah, lights are off, and we are ready to go back racing once again. Thanks for sticking with us. Your reward is going to be action all the way, I fancy. We've still got to have the mandatory stop as well. So some entries, they would have changed things. You can see the 116's missing a headlight after contact in the final stages of the circuit here last time. And I tell you what, Oliver Webb has gone very early, and he's timed that brilliantly. He's caught them napping behind, and he's on his way.
Well, it's a classic case. Of course, the driver in the lead of the pack can dictate when they floor the throttle. He did it very early, and car in the background already pitting. That was 99 that started from the middle of the front row. Now, to my eye, that should be... Is that just with the pit window open, or is that a problem? I think it might be a technical problem, so very disappointed. But the first two cars, you talk about West Sussex, East Sussex, that's about the divide between them and the rest. But behind, of course, 3 cars, nose to tail, 5 cars, nose to tail.
Yeah, very aggressive as you're looking through the order there of the 411, getting very racy.
Car number 100, that's the car being driven by Juan Pablo Orjuela, and that'll be taken over by Emanuele Pirro. We often talk in a two-driver race about it's the balance, the aggregate speed between your drivers, and certainly Juan Pablo doing a very good job, but he's left the door half open. Well, a little look there from Seb Perez, but he pulled his nose back out. But Emanuele Pirro will be enjoying that. We've got a little bit of caution.
He was really enjoying it earlier on in the Ferrari 250, and we will see him in this race later on as well. All these cars on sustainable fuel, all over the road there. Looks like we caught the end of something for the 23 of Smalley behind the wheel as he was recovering after dipping at least a couple of wheels off the road.
And it just goes to prove if you lose your momentum, it takes a while to get it back up. These aren't the world's most powerful cars, and just like the Formula Juniors, totally different in terms of appearance, but it's about keeping that momentum. So where did it go wrong for Adam Smalley? Well, the entrance to St Mary's. At that point, he thinks, I didn't need to go to Royal Agricultural College in Cirencester. Farming is not for me. And back onto the black stuff for him. But Adam is an absolute expert in more modern Porsche, so I think that helps in quite a big way.
And he did well to make sure that wasn't a far bigger moment. We come back across the line, and this is now the battle for second position then, as we're getting drivers cycle through. The pit window is now open, so this is now the battle for second. Juan Pablo continuing to lead this furious battle. 25 minutes to go, and still Ollie Webb continues out front.
Well, I must say the pace we're seeing from Juan Pablo Orella, very, very quick indeed. First couple of regular pit visitors in. We had 99 coming in. Andrew Jordan in the car that started right on pole position. Lost about 4 positions on the opening lap, but he's in the pit, so very quick changeover.
Well, that is going to be really interesting to see. Andrew Jordan now in the car, and he was just so at ease when we saw him behind the wheel of it in qualifying yesterday.
OK, so we just commented earlier, Alex, about whether you put your faster driver in your pairing in first or second, and clearly they decided in their case, put them in second, and there is Andrew Jordan, car number 9, coming out. He will be given the maximum amount of time that he can to make an attack, and likewise 99 into the pits and out of the pits, so one would think, we need double check, but I would think that was James Thorpe handing over to Phil Quaid, probably in that. So they've taken the early tactic. 2 abreast, how'd you like that? Coming up shortly.
Well, it's very, very close. Seb Perez all over the back, trying to find the move through. And these three have been putting on a really entertaining battle. All the while, though, the 99 came in and changed. And that was not a mechanical issue, but we didn't see the message that the pit window was immediately open. So we'll have to check whether that stop was within the rules. We continue to go side by side, struggling to stop the speed off as we went into Madrid corner.
Well, the driver making the moves has been David Zevelbichen. He was at the back of this grouping in the dark green car. He just went to the front fleetingly, now back to third, and a shaking of the finger from Seb Perez, perhaps thinking, I didn't quite like that move, or well done. It's one or other.
That was excellent stuff to fight his way by there. And they are pointing to launch another attack. Suddenly, Perez is coming alive here, knowing that this is the crucial pit stop sequence, knowing that you've got to try and gain as much as possible.
23.5 minutes remaining on a 45-minute race. It became a 48-minute race. I don't like the look of that hand across that. Is that Adam Smalley climbing out? No, it's Chilton climbing out, and that was the hand across. It is Adam Smalley, so that's car 23. We did see it have its off-track moment, didn't we?
Yeah, Max Chilton having a debrief before jumping in the car. Good run now, this, the 77 of Seb Perez, who is fighting his way past. That's the second car he's passed on this lap. He is having a terrific run this time around, and he's up to second place.
Yeah, the thing about that, though, Seb Perez has been up and down the order, sort of in the top 6, from 6th up to 3rd, down to 6th again. He's got the pace. I think he's just had a couple of moments, a couple of maybe slight mistakes, but clearly when he keeps it where he wants it, he's very, very quick indeed. But Ollie Webb still leading this race. Last time around, he was beating the car 100, but now it's going to be 77, as you say, up into second place. So Seb Perez up into second, car 100, Ojoela into 3rd, and David Berkelbergen is right on his tail in 4th place in 4:11.
So in comes the car of Bonamy Grimes. 9-time Grand Prix winner Mark Webber standing by, ready to get behind the wheel of a car in a race. He hasn't had this feeling for a long time. Here is the Australian driver who is getting strapped into the car, and it's going to be great to see him in competition once again.
Of course, alongside his Formula 1 career towards the end, he was racing in Porsches in the World Endurance Championship, so accustomed to getting into a car that someone else has just vacated, and it is quite a skill. And being a tall driver as well, that makes it all the harder for him to get his limbs in place, not lose the belts behind his back, and all those things that then delay your pit stop. So a chance to fight for a good finish as well, and into the narrow fast lane of the pit lane, and pull down on the belts. It's a confidence thing, isn't it? It's the last thing you do before you get out to the track. So the little bit of damage on the front right corner is from yesterday, but it's not really affecting the aerodynamics too much. Or was it on the run to the first corner? Because certainly you saw lots of places being gained by Bonamy Grimes in 116. But now it's Mark racing again. Great to see.
Excellent to see Mark Webber attacking a racetrack in anger once more. 21 minutes to go, and everyone inside the top 15 has got to make their mandatory stop. Everyone inside the top 15 has still got to change driver.
Right, now bear in mind that the two early stoppers were 9 and 99, and the driver of 9 who took over from Matt Home is Andrew